everybody to the Taylor Fams Mukbang. I'm Nuala K. Taylor with Transform Your Life, You Under Reconstruction, and I am the Gamer Hippie, and this is Mr. Chris, my husband, and this is my son, Xanthus. Ooh. And we're going to be eating Jason's Deli takeout because, you know, they did show like the inside of the rooms to eat, but it's still at less than 25 capacity eating in there, so we want it to be nice and enjoy the outdoors. It's beautiful right now. It's nice and sunny. There's a cool breeze. The sky is clear.
It's not too hot yet. Texas gets hella hot.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, Texas gets incredibly crazy hot. But right now it's beautiful and it's temperate. So what did you get?
Got the
beef eater.
Yeah, the beef eater.
You got the beef eater with
Irish
roast beef. It's basically a French dip, but there's a lot of meat, and with au jus sauce.
Yeah.
He has jalapeno flavored potato chips.
And a pickle.
And a pickle.
And this too.
It's actually a nice sized pickle. Pickle.
And then this mango yuzu.
A sandwich is super yummy looking. And then
We've got some blue tortilla chips.
blue tortilla chips. I have a red pepper hummus.
I got some salsa. Dip the chips in.
He loves salsa.
Of course.
So good. I have a basil tomato soup. And then we also have a fruit bowl with pineapple, strawberries, grapes, and there's lettuce.
So what do we do? We just eat
I'm
it
part
and
rabbit.
We just eat it and comment on it? Is that what we do?
No, we
Oh well,
discuss.
we're gonna discuss some stuff. But
yeah.
Chris and I both have Tea's Tea, which is organic peach ginger black tea. That. And then we have the same flavor, same variety, same company, but this one is the mango yuzu green tea.
Oh yeah.
It's yummy. And then we have water. And today we're going to be discussing a super sensitive topic that's kind of blown up right now. And we're going to talk about this whole inequality, a serious look at racism, and we're going to have this discussion as a family. And you're like, well, what qualifies you to talk about this subject? And it's like, well, I'll tell you what qualifies us. We are first a blended family. So my daughter is mine from another relationship. And my son that I've raised as my own is actually Chris's son from another relationship. And we had that before we became a family. And this guy over here is the one that we had between us. But all of our children are of mixed race. We're multiracial. Yep. And in both of our families, we have Black family members, we have Caucasian family members, we have Asian family members, we have Latino family members, we have family members of every flavor.
Yeah.
Right? I come from Hawaii, and I'm a military brat, and Chris comes from all over, right? He was born in Japan, he was raised in Australia, and then in almost all kinds of states in the United States, because he also is a military brat. We've been able to see and experience lots of different cultures and lots of different people. And what's going on right now is difficult for everybody, but kind of confusing for us because, we can see both sides of it, and what happens to either one directly affects us and our families.
Well, it's almost like when I was growing up, like she said, there was a big variety of people that I was raised around because my father was in the military. So, the military has white, Black, Asian, Hispanics, got everybody. So the whole concept of racism itself was not foreign to me, but it wasn't something I personally engaged in or really was a victim of until, high school a little bit, because I went to the quote Black high school in Colorado Springs, Sierra High School, right? And it was integrated, so we had a large number of white, Latino, and Mexican kids there. There were some Asian and half Asian kids thrown in there because military. But I had people there you know, picking on me because I'm white. I'd be walking through my neighborhood and I had Mexican guys wanting to bully me and beat me up because I'm white.
Wow.
And I was taken aback. You know, I was like, what? Are you serious? What the hell? And I didn't know why, because we didn't have the internet back then to research all the history of stuff going on. And I understand that white people, we've been the evil empire for a long time. I get that. But not all of us think that way, and not all of us want that to be how it is. I like all kinds of different ethnic varieties of people. I went and found the woman that had so many ethnicities all put together. I was like, wow, okay, you're the one for me. You got everything. So,
So in Hawaii,
oh, Hawaii, let's get into that one.
in Hawaii,
I was the black guy in Hawaii.
there is a lot of anger and resentment towards Caucasians. And it doesn't matter if you are a United States Caucasian, or if you are vacationing from the UK, or if you are from Germany, or you're European. It doesn't matter if you came from South Africa. They don't care. They only care that you're white. Why is that?
Well,
Because the people who wronged us a long time ago and who started the ball rolling, right, with injustice, happen to be Caucasian,
English too.
right? It happened to be English Caucasian, of which settled our islands and kind of just gave us an idea of how to structure our monarchy back at that time. And then again, wrongdoing was done when we were illegally annexed into the United States. And that's an ongoing issue. But it's so deep-seated, right, that to this day, there's a lot of animosity and resentment towards anyone who's Caucasian. The word haole is not haole, right? That's
Not
just
white.
slang. It
Means
doesn't
no.
mean white. O haole means without breath. Because when Polynesians greet each other, just like almost like Eskimos, right? Let us do it. When we greet each other, we share oha, we share breath. Right? It's where you get that whole kissing of the cheeks thing. We actually share our breath because we believe that your oha, your breath, which comes from your diaphragm, is where your power exists. So when we greet each other, we exchange spirit. Now, when Captain Cook came to the islands, he didn't do all that. He did this. And we were like, oh, he must not have oha to share, right? And kind of misunderstanding, thought that he was a god. That whole situation was taken advantage of. A lot of miscommunication happened, and then eventually, you know, a lot of bad stuff happened. A lot of disease wiped out our people. A lot of taking advantage and trying to colonize, forcing a belief system onto my people that were not theirs. Just all kinds of things, right?
They did force stuff on them and colonize them. And it's funny to me that a lot of the people in modern times who are pro-Hawaiian sovereignty, they don't like white people and they want them out and they want their traditional Hawaiian stuff back. You say, but aren't you a Christian? And they say, yes. And I said, well, the white man brought that and made you do that too. Oh, no, that's different. It's weird.
Yeah. Your belief system is really not your belief system. That's a whole different discussion. But so the dislike for white people in Hawaii is strong.
So
But it
I
wasn't-
moved there.
So when he gets there,
Oh boy.
I'm
And-
excited to be there because,
Oh,
you know,
it's paradise.
I like all the weather was great. I like a diversity of people. I was very attracted to the looks of the Asians and the Polynesians.
Hummus.
Of course.
Hummus is so yummy.
And so I was looking forward to getting a Hawaiian girlfriend when I got there. And get there and find out I was not invited to their social club at all. I would go to a club and I would see, you know, locals. We call them locals, okay? You can be Japanese, Chinese, Filipino, Korean, Hawaiian, Samoan. All that counts as, quote, local. If you're white,
Or black.
even if you were,
Or-
I'll get to that. If you're white or black, even if you were born and raised there, they still don't really think of you as a local. You're an outsider.
A Haole.
So when you're white, you're a Haole, and if you're black, you're a Papolo, which is, so I was bummed out. I was disappointed. And I was like, oh, I'll never get a Hawaiian girlfriend. That sucks. So eventually I met her, found out she was nice. She actually liked white guys. We started dating, and we eventually moved in together. And we moved into this little crummy house, but it was on the beach in a place called Eva Beach, Hawaii. So in Eva Beach, I found out that I was the only white guy for like, how many block radius would you say?
Wow.
It was quite a bit. It's changed
A
now,
lot.
but back then it was like 1994, and so I was the only white dude I would see when I would go outside. So the guys that lived across the street or whatever, they did not like me.
Well,
Just because I'm white. Didn't even know me. Hadn't even met me, nothing. And over time, I just kept being, here's the secret. When they were mean to me, I didn't go, well, you know what, fuck you.
no.
No, all right? I felt bad. I felt kind of sad. I was
Like,
hurt. My feelings were hurt that people didn't like me just because of my skin color. But instead of complaining and instead of going out and protesting and getting some white people together and having a march and
Oh, no.
call everyone a racist, you know what I did? I was just nice to them. I was nice to them. I was nice to them. I was nice to them. And I was lucky that the kind of racism they were exhibiting wasn't the violent kind. I probably wouldn't have been so nice if they were beating me up or something like that, but they were just mean. So I just kept being nice. Hey, what's up, guys? I'd pull up in the car, be like, what's up, fellas? And they wouldn't even say hello to me at first, but it took, after maybe 2 months of me being nice, hey, what's up, guys? Eventually it was like, give me a little head tilt. Then a week later it'd be like, what's up? And eventually they introduced themselves, hey, what's up? I'm Mike. Hey, Mike, I'm Chris. And once they realized, I don't know, that I was still trying to be friendly to them, even though they were obviously giving me the signs of, we don't want to be friends with you, they eventually wound up becoming really, really great neighbors, and I liked them a lot.
Those were our neighbors, and it took him about 3 months for them to warm up to him of every single day being polite, being kind, and understanding our culture.
And I
Because-
understood why they were upset. So I wasn't mad at them. I didn't hate them. Privately, I would say to her, what's wrong with those guys? What the hell? I say hi to them, and she told me, honey, because you're white, just keep your head down, say hi to them, be nice, and eventually they'll come around. And she was right, they did. So I guess the point of all this whole story is, when people complain about racism, yes, racism is wrong. And it does hurt people's feelings. And it's not really rooted in current affairs. They weren't mad at me because of anything I had done. They were mad at me for things my ancestors had done. I get it.
Not even your ancestors.
Yeah, what do you mind? But the way to get over it is to talk about it and to come together and realize that everyone has commonalities, things in common, Everybody likes music. Everybody likes to have a good time. Everybody cares about their family. And once you realize that that person is no different than me, they want the same thing I want. As long as you're not some evil sociopath who wants to dominate the world, yeah, people aren't going to like you.
Cool.
But racism is wrong. And a lot of people out there that, I guess, say, yes, I know racism is wrong. You got to experience it to really know how wrong it is. And I experienced it. I was discriminated against. A little bit in high school, but a lot in Hawaii. And it does not feel good. So anyone out there that feels racist or feels things about people that you haven't even met, it's unfair. It's unfair.
So it took 3 months for him just to break in with our neighbors. It took him 2 years to reach a trust and understanding with my family.
Oh man.
right? And I do have people in my family that have relationships with people who are Caucasian. We do. But it's so weird how racism still is a choice. Like, you'll be racist against this group of Caucasians, but not against this group of Caucasians. Or you won't there's racism inside of race. So I'm Hawaiian. I went to a very prestigious Hawaiian school where you have to have proven Hawaiian ancestry to go to. And because I have Maoli hair, right, that belongs to my people, and when I went to school, they were mostly Asian descent and their hair was straight. It was the 70s, so straight hair was in anyway. I got ridiculed by my own ancestry type people because I had ancestral hair, right? I know that it happens in the black community with how light your skin is. You're still black, but some people are lighter than other people, and there's discrimination there. There's discrimination within different kinds of cultures when it comes to caste. Like, you're the same person, you're the same group of people, but because you came from a lower caste system, poorer, working class, and they came from a higher educated class, then somehow that makes you better, or it makes you less than. Racism really is just ill-conceived notion that someone can be better than someone else for any reason. And because we're simple creatures, we think solely on what we can see, hear, feel, taste, all that stuff, right? So what's easy to create this invisible box is by, oh, you look different than me. So somehow I have to be better than or less than you. So you create stuff that makes them better than or less than. And that's just the beginning of where all this crap goes from. But here we go. I am Hawaiian, Japanese, Chinese, Filipino, Swedish, German, Irish, Micronesian, Samoan. Okay? And Polynesian ancestry actually comes from one of the tribes of Africa that actually left, right? And didn't just leave, but they left and traveled all the way up and through Asia and then down south, creating the Micronesias and then the Polynesias, right? Wow. So we technically are ethnically, right, Negroid and Mongoloid. So we're Asian black. And before we started mixing with other Asians and before we were settled by the British, we were very Aboriginal and very native looking.
And they all had curly hair.
We all had tight curly hair. This is loose curly hair, right? We call this maoli. But the curls are super tighter, right?
Yes.
But I wanted to say something also. I have a lot of friends that are black, and some of them, they say this all the time. Well, black people can't be racist because we're not in charge of anything. We can't use the system to discriminate against other people, and that's what racism is. No, that's not what racism is. Racism is believing that another group of people is inferior to you based on their ethnicity. That's it. That is the only thing you need to be a racist.
Based on what they look like, where they come from.
If you like everybody, but I hate Arabs. Mexicans are cool, and black people are cool, and Chinese people are cool, but Arabs, oh no, I hate Arabs. Well, then you're a racist. You're just racist against Arabs. And some ethnic people I know are incredibly racist. I've known black people like, man, them Mexicans taking our jobs and all this kind of shit, and then it'll be an Asian person and they make rice jokes and noodle jokes and all this stuff. You're just as racist as me, dude. You're just black. And I'm not even racist. I try to be nice to people. Yeah, I make jokes about stereotypes and all that stuff. But what I truly hold in my heart, I don't hate anybody because of their ethnicity. Ever. Anybody. So, I'll hate you because of your actions. I'll hate you because of something you've done.
Behavior.
If you're a child molester, I hate you. And I don't care what your ethnicity is. That's different. But let's go to our son over here who's been quiet. Have you experienced anything like this at school in any way, shape, or form?
What, where I dislike somebody?
No, where, either that you were racist or you felt someone was being racist
Let's
to you.
make it simple.
Yeah.
Okay, let's make it simple, right? First of all, How does it make you feel to see two factions of humans saying bad things and hurting each other?
Horrible.
Right. So it makes you feel bad.
Yes.
So intrinsically, once it makes you feel uncomfortable, bad, or negative, you know that that's not a good thing. So that's one. Have you ever experienced something where you were being judged and or treated unfairly because of what you look like?
Yeah.
What happened?
Well, at the charter school, you guys know what I'm talking about.
Right.
At the charter school, there was this. I don't want to be discriminating, but there was this one African American gentleman.
You could say he's black guy.
You can say he's black. It's okay.
There was this black kid, right? And he didn't like me because I was white. And he apparently disliked the way I talk and everything. And I was like, what's going on, man? Blah blah blah.
Keep your head up.
Yeah, look at so they can hear you.
Yeah. And one day, I was just like, hey man, I don't appreciate, the way you're talking to me like that, right?
Okay.
And then, well, he slapped me, so I slapped him back. The teacher came back in class and broke it up, and you guys probably knew about it.
And the thing is, and what happens with that a lot of times, there's an
They blame me.
overcorrection.
Right.
Okay? Since people know that racism has happened and it's got a history of racism, they overcorrect, which means now if someone who's not white does something wrong, they'll look for any explanation as to why it's not their fault. And in this case, the black kid slapped him, so he retaliated and slapped him back, and my son's the one that got in trouble. How dare you? Don't slap a black kid.
Wait, did he?
Even if he started it, my son's the one that got in trouble. And that's still racism. Now it's just being directed at the white kid now.
Yeah.
So
I think everyone has to understand is everyone is incorrectly thinking that this is about your skin color. It is absolutely not. It has nothing to do with where you were born, how much money you make, what you look like, what language you talk, what you sound like. None of that is actually the issue here. There are people out there that would like you to believe that that's the issue because they want you to create and reinforce the invisible lines that have been drawn for you. Okay? And let me expand upon that. So, whoops, there,
like a
that
dog
way.
behind a fence.
So there's something called fence aggression with certain dogs, where you have a dog behind a fence, and no matter who's on the other side of that fence, that dog is highly aggressive. You take away the fence, and dogs can now see each other face to face, where they're now able to approach people who are on the other side of the fence. The behavior changes. And you're like, well, why is that? Right? There are organizations, right? People, structures, castes that have created these invisible drawn lines that have said that they're over here and you're over there, and that's the only thing you can do. That's who you are. You're not allowed to cross this invisible line, right? And somehow humans have developed this fence aggression where because someone has drawn this invisible line for you and created division, right, and reinforced it with injustice and generations of hardship, right, you guys are just reinforcing the fence.
Yeah.
Like literally, you're reinforcing the fence. The fence is not real. We are all literally human beings. We have exactly the same chromosomal structure
Same DNA.
as someone who looks completely different than you. You don't even, it doesn't even matter if they speak another language or come from another region of the planet. We are exactly the same.
Right.
You can't say the same between a dog and a human. If you
different
were going to
species.
speak race, race is species. Race has nothing to do with what you look like, right?
That's ethnicity.
We've got German Shepherds, we've got Poodles, we've got Chihuahuas, you've got all these different varieties of canine, but they're all canine,
Yeah, they're canine.
right? They're all the same species. We call them different breeds because we produced that, right? We made them look that way because really they're all wolves.
But they're all canines.
But they're all canines. We are all human, and it hurts me so much to see people being pitted against one another. It just does. It makes no sense to me. I'm truly confused and hurt that we could draw these lines and do this to each other, and then as a sentient species be so hurt as to perpetrate the lie and keep it going. It makes no sense.
The thing is, all the colonization and the conquering and stuff that all the Caucasians did back in the day, that African tribes did to each other, that Middle Eastern tribes did to each other, Genghis Khan, all that stuff, it was all wrong. It's evil to take away someone else's home,
Or life.
to kill them and take their stuff. It's wrong, and it doesn't happen anymore, really. It might happen in
China, stop it.
Stop it.
But the thing is, how long? Why do I have to suffer for what ancestors did? We need to move forward as a race, because there is no white race, black race, Asian race. It's just the human race, and we all need to go forward from this point on in history, realizing that we are all one. We really are. I know it sounds cliche, but we're all one. Some people think we all have the same mind, just one mind that's all sharing a collective thing, and we get a little piece of it, but we're all connected to one thing. We have to start thinking that way. That person over there is your brother, is your sister. And I don't care if it's white people hanging black people or black people mobbing a white guy and beating him up. All that stuff needs to stop.
It's all wrong.
There's no justification for it.
You cannot create peace through violence. I'm sorry. It doesn't work like that. It never has. It never will. Peace only comes outside of conflict. It'll never happen during conflict or inside conflict.
So that's our mukbang.
That's our mukbang.
Thank you for watching. I know we were kind of long-winded.
Oh, wait.
The brownie.
Brownie.
Oh.
Dessert. And it looks super rich, so I only got one brownie. We're going to share it.
And let's cut it into like.
All right.
We're going to share
and
this
you can't
brownie.
have any. Sorry, you're not here.
It's Jason's Deli in Killeen. It's awesome food.
Awesome.
The best thing about Jason's Deli is their salad bar, their fresh salad bar. I'm waiting for a lot of this COVID-19 thing to just alleviate itself or run its course,
I like the ice cream.
because that deli is awesome. The ice cream is free if you have, the dessert bar is free if you get the salad bar. So get salad bar.
Thank you guys.
Okay, just this.
We're going to enjoy our brownie.
So, like always, I want to leave you guys with, right? Be kind, be love, be brave, be you. It is always our intention to create content that helps you to become a better version of yourself, you know, because we want to help you to find your happy no matter what that means for you. So, you guys take care of yourself. Much mahalo. Live in love. Right? Beatles had it right.